Good afternoon everybody and a very warm welcome to Mildenhall and District, and my name's Susanna and I live with trains, and today is going to be a general knowledge video, which means it's going to be a little bit of everything today. So there's going to be lots to talk about and it promises to be quite a long video, so my apologies if it does, but I'll try and keep it as brief and as informative as I can. And before we start, I just wanted to have a quick word on the weekend's events, mainly that being of Get. I just wanted to talk a brief word on it because I didn't do any filming at all. In truth, there was a good side and a bad side. The reason why I didn't do any filming is, well, let's get to the good stuff. So the best bit about Get is the fact that I met so many wonderful people. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you that I met, and it was a pleasure, and it was absolutely brilliant to meet everybody and catch up with good friends, new and old. And it's nice to also put some faces to some channels, which obviously they don't come onto the video, so it's nice to actually see the face behind the channel. And so it was nice to meet those people, and it's also nice to have compliments from people to say that they watch my channel and that I've been able to help them in some way, shape or form. So I'm really grateful, really nice, happy to have met all of you, and I'm glad to have been able to help. Now, the bad side of Gets was that essentially I had a small shopping list with me. I went up there on the Saturday on the train because I can't drive at the moment, and which is a bit annoying. It's a bit frustrating and it's causing me all sorts of issues, but hey ho, I won't get into that too much, but yeah, that's just how it is at the moment. So I went there, and like I said, the great bit was meeting everybody, but unfortunately I didn't get to see any of the layouts and I didn't get to see any of the traders really. When I got there first thing, I had a brief, I think about 10-15 minute window, because I sort of got there about 20 minutes before the YouTube meetup upstairs. So it was about a 10-15 minute window that I had just to have a quick look round. And then by the time I came out after meeting everybody, I mean, the place was just rammed to chock-a-block. So I couldn't see any of the layouts, or I couldn't see any of the traders really, which I sort of half expected, but I personally won't be going to Gets next year. I can't see myself doing that again because I don't really feel like it's going to be worth it. Things might have quietened down maybe next year, but I don't know. But to be honest with you, that was just way too crazy. You literally just keep on bumping into people left, right and centre, and you couldn't really get a look in edgeways, and you're always having to sort of look over people's shoulders to actually have a look at any of the stands and stuff like that. So to me, I didn't particularly find that side particularly enjoyable. And with the advent of YouTube, there's always going to be somebody there who's going to put up a fantastic video about the layouts that were there, that I could have easily just stayed at home and watched all the layouts that I put out. However, that being said, like I said, the main reason for going was the fact that I was going to try and meet as many people as I could. And like I said, it was lovely to meet all of you. So thanks again. And did I spend any money there? Well, actually, no, I didn't spend a penny there, but I was gifted a few bits, which I will show you. And I also went to the Aldershot exhibition yesterday, which I popped down to because it's my local exhibition. And I did pick up one or two bits from there. Nothing major. It was actually a better exhibition for me than Gets was, from the point of view that it was definitely a lot quieter than the Gets exhibition. And also there were some lovely layouts at the Aldershot exhibition, and one of my favourites was at the Aldershot exhibition too. So that made it well worth it. Plus I managed to get at least one item on my shopping list that I did take with me to Gets. So let me spin you around, and we're going to start having a little bit of a tour around the layout, and I'll start talking to you about all the various bits and pieces that's been going on the layout. Now, some of the stuff I'm going to show you has been building up over a few months, some of it's been building up over a few weeks, and some I've done very recently. I can't actually remember what I've done on since my last video as such, but There is definitely a lot of changes since my last video, and I'd also like to do a day and night running session, and you'll see why too. So let me spin you around and we'll get on with it. So we're going to start here at the front end of the layout, and my apologies, I'm doing this freehand, so apologies if it's a bit wibbly wobbly, but I guess it's the best way for me to get right into the nitty gritty of what I've been doing. We'll start at Mildenhall Riverside, and one of the main things, as you can probably see, is I've finally finished the ballasting. I've done all the ballasting along here, so now the whole layout is completely ballasted now. So that's something I wanted to do. There is also many more figures added to the layout, dotted all the way around the layout, so you can sort of see that there's quite a few figures at Mildenhall Riverside waiting for a train. So that's something that's also been added around the layout. So many more figures. Also, some of my other vehicles have made a comeback in various different places, like this hot dog stand and the associated van that accompanies it. I still have to finish the fencing all the way along here, which I haven't done. Here on this corner here, I've put the newspaper seller. He's another one, and there's his stand. And also here we have a telecommunications mast. This is from Jeff Reedman over at 3D Scenics. His version, this is actually a modified version. Mine is a modified version to his. Essentially, his one I felt was too short, and I'll compare the difference with you shortly. And I felt it was too short. And whenever I see telecommunication masts on my travels, you can't really see the top of them unless you're really looking up at them. And I found that his were a bit too low, so I modified them. And also I had a couple that I bought from him were slightly wonky, and so I had to again modify it. But that was fine because I had the materials to do it. So this is Jeff Reedman's Scenic. This is how it comes in a packet. You get two in a pack, and I bought 2 packs. This is how you get it, like this. Now, I'm going to put this one up against the other one, and you'll see how much shorter it is. So there you go. You can see there's the top of his one, and there's the top of my one. So this particular one was okay. It wasn't wonky or anything, but I did have 1 or 2 that were a bit wonky. And I did explain that to him when I saw him yesterday, but this one's fine. But I haven't actually done anything because I haven't actually decided where this one's actually going to go. I've got 3 of them out, but this is just how they come as they are. So if you're interested, like I said, you can go to Scenic 3D Scale Printing. I actually done it through his eBay account on his eBay store. So that's how you get it. You get a pack of 2. But like I said, I modified it. And that's essentially what that is this post here turned upside down. And then I've just trimmed it and fitted the head, the top bit, onto the bottom end and basically turned it upside down and made it taller. And that fits perfectly nicely. And I think, personally, it looks more to scale. I think the other ones are a bit too low. Maybe you do get them of different sizes, but the ones that I've seen are definitely a lot taller than the ones that he's printed off. But nonetheless, it's a good item. This TMD area, there's a possible school of thought that this might actually get moved, and that's going to get moved to this side of the board for a slight extension, and have this as a further yard for the for the Freightliner area. The reason why I'm saying that is because of this point coming off of here. It kind of makes sense for trains terminating that they can go straight in and straight into the yard. This train care depot that would be over there off of this point. And then when they come back in, they just go back into the station, pick up, and then reverse and go back around the layout. And I think that makes more sense than having this where it is at the moment. So that's more than likely going to happen. When, I couldn't tell you, like I said, because of ongoing health issues. Right. What else is new around here? Right. So I'm going to lift this board up, and then I will show you some more. At the Aldershot exhibition yesterday, I picked up this little taxi.
I don't really need it as such, but I just like the colour of it and I like the advertising on it. So I picked up this little vehicle, and also the price was fantastic because it's an Oxford diecast model. He was actually asking £5, but actually Oxford diecast models have gone up. But I managed to pick this one up for just £4. If I go along here, we'll come across my flying banana network test train. Now this two-car set has been giving me some grief when I've been trying to run it, and it's not. I don't believe it is actually to do with the train itself. It's to do with the decoders that are in them. They're running the Hornby TTS MTU decoders. So you bought them as a twin pack for about £70, I think it was at the time. And the one that was in the power car was playing up because as it went round the layout, it just became unresponsive all the time. So when I tried to stop it or slow down, it just wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't respond to any of the commands. So I've essentially swapped out the decoder that was in the dummy car and put that in a power car and vice versa. And that for now seems to have cured it. One of my gifts from the weekend is these little ground frames. I have 12 in total. I got them off a dear friend who knows who they are, and I've already thanked him a lot already, but thank you once again, you know who you are. So I've picked up 12 of these. He kindly printed off 12 of these for me. They're dotted all the way along here because I wanted to add that along here. This would be the sort of area that somebody would come out, change the points by hand. I'll show you some more of those as we go around the layout. Right, as we come around here, some more vehicles have been added and more people. So this DPD van has made a reappearance. He's over here delivering the parcel. This little Mercedes A-Class, that is also new from all the shot. That's on the layout. My dad used to own one of these and it was a beautiful little car. So that's a bit of a nod to my dad for that. The Piccadilly Whip ice cream van is here. That's also, I'm going to add some more figures to make that like they're queuing up for out their lunch, so they're going to have their lunch, pop out, grab an ice cream. Got another gentleman who's maybe coming up, getting off his van, and he's delivering some parts or something. So he's over there. Over here, you can see there's more of these. You can see it a bit better here because I can get a bit closer. Some more of these ground levers. There's small there. There's another one there. And they're sort of dotted all over the place. And I think, well, there you go. You can see 3 of them there just in that one shot alone. And all of that makes such a huge difference. I think it looks brilliant. And like I said, I've also done the ballasting along here, which is better. And also added some cabling. Now this actual cabling actually is working for real. This isn't actually just like a demo thing, just a bit of detail. This is actually properly connected together to jump the wires across, because I couldn't get underneath the boards to do it. So I decided to do it like this and just kind of make a bit of a feature off of it. So that's all cool. Also, I've added this point motor. As we come to Cheston Road, this hasn't actually had that much work doing to it, but it does need more work, which is essentially what the whole layout needs really. Is one of the big things is, as the layout is pretty much built and it's going to be pretty much set in stone as it is, I'm going to be adding loads of details now, because that's what this layout is about now. It's about adding more and more details. And one of the many details is, as you can probably notice, it doesn't actually say platform 1 and 2 or anything like that. So all those kind of signages need to be added here. I also need stop signs and also destination boards and speed restriction signs. All that kind of thing all needs to be done around the layout. And this is one of those areas. Here we've got another one of Jeff Reedman's tower masts. That was basically to try and cover the seam up a little bit and make that sort of blend that in. So that's what that is. Goswell Sidings has had some major work done to it. And essentially I have weathered the tracks along the back for the sidings. I've moved the vent van from the back of the layout to over here, and I've also moved the Train Tech sound file to the back that I had a speaker here for the Train Tech. That was providing rural sounds, and I've moved that to the back of the layout. So I've got the vent van here as a replacement instead. And like I said, I've got more rusty rails, rusted. I changed the buffers out for these ones. These are the old Pico ones which I had knocking about, and I've just kind of weathered them up, ground them up, rusted them up, that kind of thing. We now have new lighting here. So there's now, lighting has now been changed in the signal box and is now working again because we didn't have any. And we've also got some lighting along here. We've also got some lighting along here. I've also got this vehicle, which is quite new. I think I might have shown you that on the previous video. And then we've also got this gentleman here, and he's just basically going to be changing the ground lever frame point and change the points over. And like I said, there's also some more lighting that's going to be reintroduced into here. There was lighting here before, but I had to, since I rejigged the track plan along here, I took out all the lighting, so I've had to put it back in so I could do a nighttime running session. So you'll see that soon. I'm not sure if I've shown you this, but I think I have. But what I haven't shown you is that I've added this home signal here as well, and that's tall enough to go over the footbridge. So the trains going through can clearly see the signal as they approach it. And as you can see from the top, sorry about the shadows, you can see that I've rusted up the track. And here is my latest recruit, my MPV, which has been sitting here. It's sound fitted, it runs really lovely, and it sounds really nice. Somebody did complain about the sound coming out of it. I'm not too bothered actually. I think it sounds okay. Probably not the best sound in the world, but it does sound good enough to me. So I'm really, really happy with that. I might do something with that in terms of a video, maybe a bit more later. Okay, as we come around the corner, I have reworked the drop down section with some cleaning up the ballast that was on the rails, because there was some that was interfering with the running. So I've cleaned that up. I've also added some static grass along here. I've taken the point out of here and reused it. And there's also, I don't know if you can see, but look, there's a line of sleepers buried under there. So that's just to make it out like that's where the track used to go, which is pretty much where the point was and where it used to go. I've also reworked this corner. I really apologise for the lighting. The lighting's really bad around here. But yeah, I've reworked all of this, re-static grass this whole corner, put some speed restriction signs along here, put a distance signal here, and I've also redid the background so it seamlessly flows around the corner. Also on this little module here, I've also got a little hut. This is the one that came from David Adkins over in Canada. So I moved that over here, so thank you to him. And like I said, I've worked this whole corner here, and I think it looks better to what it did before. So I'm really pleased. Over here, again, as we move to the back end of the layout, we have a motorcyclist. Now I did have him before, but he's metal, and he kept falling down. So I had to find a way of getting him to stand up. So I put him on some clear acetate, and now he's sort of standing up. Now I think I might have shown you this, that I've added some extra sidings on my last video, but what I definitely haven't shown you is this. This is something that I've been working on. Basically, this is my little diorama of the bus garage. I did have these buildings knocking around, but they weren't being used anymore from the front, but I really wanted to use this bus garage again. And unfortunately, I didn't have anywhere to put it at the front. And so therefore I have to put it here, but I just wanted to do something with it because it's a big part of my life being a bus driver. And I do enjoy bus driving, even though I can't drive at the moment, which is really frustrating. But hey ho, there isn't much I can do, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to kind of put this together. And also, as you came through here, through the yard at night, I wanted to create a bit of light to drop down into this general area instead of it being so dark and gloomy. So this is my bus diorama. And you've got a bus stop here with a little porter cabin there for the inspector. You've got a DPD guy over there, he's delivering some parts. And then you've got a couple of bus drivers having a chinwag. And you've got the inspector's van over the far end, or the, I can't remember, I think it is, or is it the engineer's support? Anyway, whichever one it is. And then we've got some mechanics working on the buses. One's got a toolbox to get as he's working on the bus. That little bus that he's working on with the bonnet up, that is the one that I've actually driven in actual service. So I've actually driven that actual bus. And then you've got a couple more buses here, and then you've got a couple of drivers here just about to get on their buses to prepare the vehicles and get ready to do their routes and do their duties. And then if you look over here, it's a bit tricky, but you can see these are the same walls that I've got at the front, the grey ones, but they've just been repainted. And also they're actually lighted, so they've actually got lights everywhere on here. So I will show you that now, so you can have a little look. So that's quite nice, especially at night, so that just gives it a little bit of extra glow. And that's plumbed into the rest of the lighting on the layout. And I'll probably do an evening shot just before we go and move over. As we move over here into the village, it is a bit too busy. I am thinking of maybe at some point extending the village to thin this out a bit. It is a bit too congested around here, but some of the things to take note is Posty. He's just parked his van on the pavement and he's about to just drop off a parcel or a letter or something. And then you've got the little girl in the background playing with the dog. And then we have this gentleman, and he's working on the telephone poles. And then we have, as we come down, we've got some Network Rail workers working on this disused piece of track, and there's their van. As we come over to Arklow Quarry, I've done some track work along here to improve reliability. And at the classic car scene, we've added some more figures and some more cars. So this gentleman here, he's with his little kiddie. And then you've got you've already seen the people here sitting here, but there's also a gentleman looking over there to get an ice cream or something. So some of the new vehicles include the VW van, the Comma. As we come over here, the Hillman Imp, which I was wanting, I picked one up this weekend. I think you haven't seen the Blue Mini or the Renault 4 or the Maestro. And I think the console, I don't think you've seen, or the Citroen DS, I'm not sure. But some of these are new, just to fill up this area and make this area more bigger, which I really, really like. I'm still toying with trying to get some more figures for here, some hikers, so they can kind of walk up the hill and stuff. We've also got our chap here from Network Rail. He's also at the point lever for when the train comes in. And one of the other things I got from the exhibition is, just before I show you that, that's his Land Rover. And here we've got Lord Owl's Lavy. So that's something that Alan kindly gave me. Let me see if I can get a better view of it. It's a bit tight around here, but that's it there. So there you go. Somewhere obscure and out the way. So as we move down from the Network Rail workers, one of the other things is, this is the other one, the other telephone mast or telecommunications mast. I bedded this in, and that's also got its little cabinet there. And this one actually is in green. Some of them I've seen are in green. So that's something else that I've seen. Now, as we move to St. Anne's, there is even more figures. So we've got this gentleman here, and he's asking how much it is to go into town, or to take him home, or to wherever he's going. So he's just asking. So that's another figure added. We've got the bus driver here. He just popped to use the facilities, and he's now heading back towards his bus before he starts his journey. And there's got a passenger waiting just over there. We also have this rather inconsiderate BMW driver just sort of dropping off in front of the other car, kind of blocking him in. And then there's a few more figures dotted around here, and also on the actual platform itself. So again, there's more and more people added. So here I've decided to shut all the lights off to give you as best view as I can of the night shift, what it might look like at night with all the lights on. And if I just give you a quick sort of pan round, you can sort of see how the lights work around the layout. It's very bright at night, to be honest. So that's Arklow Quarry. I think there's just enough lighting here to sort of fill everything. Even a little light in the house as well. Obviously at night it's a better effect. As you can see, that's how. And as you go down, and then up into the bus station, or bus garage I should say. That sort of gives you an idea. Now the idea of it is that when I do the cab ride at night, when you come through here, there's actually a little bit more light shining onto the fill yard, so it isn't completely pitch black. So before we leave this area, something else I've been doing is working on these wagon loads. So my Cura scale wagons, all of them, I think there was 8 of the other ones and 10 of these have all got wagon loads now. So I can do some running out of the quarry, and I can actually do empties and full ones. This is made from foam board. So some of these projects have been really, really nice to do, just to keep me going, because they're really easy, really light, no pressure, and it's just easy to do, and you just get on with these. So this is something that I've been working on very recently. I've also got speed signs and other signs to put up. That's another big thing, but that's also very easy, not very demanding. So lastly, before you go, one of the other things I've been experimenting with is how I've been operating the layout. Now, as you know, I film through my mobile phone, but the problem I have with that is it then means that when I'm filming with my mobile phone, it means that I don't actually have a way of controlling the trains unless I use the handheld throttles that I have, and they're all tethered. So my sister kindly gave me another phone, an old phone, and it doesn't have to be anything new or anything like that, but this was just a way of, so I can still film using my current phone and then use the other phone to actually run the trains, because otherwise what would happen before is that I could still run the trains via JMRI engine driver on my phone that I'm filming from now, but I wouldn't be able to do any filming because I haven't got no way of filming it. Now, as it so happens, she gave me an old Apple phone, and I'm very grateful for that. So I've been experimenting with this app. It's called the Rethrottle Lite, and you can run trains through this app. There's also, my current phone is actually Android, so I've actually got the engine driver app, and that's what I tend to use. Now, if any of you
out there are interested in possibly me explaining how I run the trains via the phone because you'd like the idea of it, then please let me know in the comments below and I will do a video on it. Because I do run my trains via the controllers and I do like using them through the controllers when I've got somebody helping me, because I quite like the hands approach of the controllers. But when I'm on my own, I tend to use the phone and the phone apps, whether it be this one for the Apple, which is the Wii Throttle, or whether you use the JMRI engine driver for the Android, which is what I use. There are other apps available that you can run. But like I said, when I'm on my own, I find it very much easier to run trains using the phone because I'm not tethered to anything. And also, one of the big advantages to using a phone as opposed to a controller, which is like an umbilical cord tethered, whatever you want to call it, is that if anything goes wrong with the layout in terms of track work or derailments, you can actually run the train and actually see it in real time with the phone app. And what I mean by that is, if, say, for example, the train derails here, I can actually physically look at what's going on with the train and run the train backwards and forwards through here remotely, rather than be tethered over there and not really having a good idea or a good view as to where it might be derailing. So you can really get into the nitty-gritty with using the app. I am actually growing to using the phone, because I was actually pretty much set against using the phone when I first started out. But I have found that since the layout has become the size that it's become, it's actually easier for me when I'm on my own to run the trains with the phone rather than with the controllers. But there is that option, so it's like if I feel like using controllers, I can still use the controller. And I still need the controller to actually program the CVs, because these apps do not program addresses and they don't program, they just allow you to run the trains only. So, you know, it's not about changing CVs or anything like that. That's for your main controller to do. But that's fine, because that's all I want it to do. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about the Wii Throttle or the JMRI, please let me know. I'll do a video on it and I'll explain to you and show you what I actually know. And if it helps you, then I will do that, no problem. So that concludes the end of today's video, and my apologies if it is a bit on the long-winded side, but there was quite a lot to chat to you about. I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody I met on Saturday. It was really nice to meet everybody, and for those of you who made kind comments and compliments towards me, I'm really grateful. I'm glad that some of my videos do help other people, because sometimes you do wonder, but I'm very grateful, and for everybody that I met, because it was such a great day. I mean, despite the fact that I didn't see any of the layouts or any of the traders at Getz, it was a wonderful experience to meet everybody and catch up with friends, new and old. So until the next time, bye bye. My name's Susanna and I live with trains. Take care.